If you knew how powerful your mind truly is, you would never think small again. Most people live their entire lives trapped in a prison built by their own thoughts, not because the world told them they couldn't rise higher, but because they believed it. They accepted mediocrity. They made friends with fear. They shook hands with doubt, and they called it realistic. But let me tell you something. There is nothing realistic about shrinking your dreams to fit the size of your fears. That is not realism, that is surrender. If you truly understood the power locked within your own mind, you would rise up today and never live the same again. Your mind is the master key, the starting point of all success, the birthplace of every great achievement, and the engine that either drives you toward greatness or traps you in mediocrity. The moment you decide to shift your thinking from limitation to power, everything, and I mean everything, begins to change. The world around you transforms, not because the world has changed, but because you have. The battlefield is not outside of you, it is within your thought. Most people walk through life asleep, hypnotized by the lies of not enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, not connected enough, not ready. And these beliefs are not facts. They are programmed thoughts, repeated so often they become internal law. But hear this loud and clear. You can reprogram your mind. You can train it to believe in power, in possibility, in unstoppable determination. Because the moment you believe that your current reality is not permanent but programmable, is the moment you begin to rise. Every empire began as a thought. Every fortune started with a decision. Every revolution was sparked by one person who refused to think like the crowd. So why, tell me, are you still thinking like everyone else? Why are you still doubting your own power when history has proven time and time again that thoughts become things? Your results are the reflection of the thoughts you habitually think. If you are not where you want to be, the answer is not out there, it's in the mirror. It's in your thinking. Let me tell you something that will shake you awake. Life will never give you more than you believe you deserve. And if you keep thinking small, you will keep receiving small. That's not punishment. That's alignment. That's the law at work. Your mind is a magnet. It is a force that draws into your life the people, the opportunities, the challenges that match your most dominant thoughts. So if your dominant thoughts are I can't or not ready or it's too hard, then don't be surprised when life confirms it. But change your thoughts to I will, I am, I must, and watch. What happens? Your voice changes, your posture changes, your energy changes, and the world begins to respond. Because energy does not lie. So a person who believes in their power becomes undeniable. They walk into a room and don't need to speak a word. Their mindset enters first. They don't wait for opportunities. They create them. They don't ask for permission. They move with conviction. This is the power of the mind, and it is yours right now. Not tomorrow, not after another seminar, not after the fear leaves, but now, this moment. Decide to think like the person you were born to be, not the person the world trained you to be. You are not limited by your past. You are only limited by the thoughts you continue to entertain. Choose power. Choose possibility. Choose now. Fear is not your enemy. It is not your barrier. It is not your excuse. Fear is a signal, a powerful flashing beacon that tells you exactly where your breakthrough lives. Most people run from fear. They treat it like a stop sign. They feel the discomfort, the anxiety, the uncertainty, and they freeze. They pause their dreams. They delay their decisions. They put their future on hold. But the bold, the ones who rise, the ones who build empires, the ones who command success, they respond differently. They recognize fear for what it truly is, the gateway to greatness. You must understand that fear is not there to destroy you. It is there to test your commitment, to ask you how badly do you really want it. Because if you're only willing to chase your dream when it's easy, when the path is smooth, when the applause is loud and the risks are low, then you're not serious. You're not ready. The real test comes when nothing is guaranteed and everything is on the line. That is when you find out who you really are. Fear will whisper 100 reasons why you shouldn't act. It will remind you of every failure, every rejection, every flaw. But here's the truth. Fear only has power when you stand still. It feeds on hesitation. It grows in silence. But the moment you move, even slightly, its grip weakens, because action is the antidote. The person who dares to move, steps forward, even when their heart is racing and their hands are shaking, becomes invincible. Not because they're fearless, but because they refuse to be ruled by it. You will never become who you are meant to be by playing it safe. You will never unlock your full strength inside your comfort zone. The life you desire, the success you imagine, the freedom you crave, they all live on the other side of fear. And the only way to reach them is to go through it, not around it, not beneath it, through it. And the only tool you need for that journey is courage. Courage does not mean you feel confident. It means you act while feeling uncertain. It means you say, I'm scared, but I'm doing it anyway. Most people wait for the fear to go away before they start. But fear doesn't leave on its own. It only leaves when it realizes you will not be stopped. That you have decided. That you are done negotiating with hesitation. Because once you declare that fear will not control your future, you take your power back. You become dangerous. You become free. You become a person of action. So the next time fear shows up, and it will, don't retreat. Don't back down. Recognize it. Look it in the eye and move forward. Because your future does not belong to the most talented. It belongs to the most courageous. And courage means action in the face of fear, not in the absence of it. Success is not found in chance. It is not granted by luck, and it does not appear through wishful thinking. Success begins with a decision, a clear, unshakable, non-negotiable decision, not a hope, not a maybe, not a someday when things line up. No, it begins the moment you decide, truly decide, that enough is enough, that the old way of living, thinking, and playing small is over, that you will no longer tolerate a life beneath your potential, that you are ready to rise. There is nothing more powerful than a made-up mind. When a person makes a real decision, everything changes. The world feels it. Energy shifts. Doors open. Not because the world suddenly became easier, but because you stopped giving yourself the option to back out. You cut off retreat. You burned the excuses, and you told yourself the truth, that your destiny is not found in hesitation. It's found in the fire of commitment. Most people never decide. They dabble, they tiptoe, they wait. They spend their lives trying and thinking about it and seeing how it goes. But that kind of attitude gets you nowhere. You cannot conquer life with a maybe. You cannot dominate with half-hearted effort. The universe does not respond to the undecided. It responds to those who step forward with certainty and back it up with action. Every breakthrough begins with a moment of finality, where you draw the line and say, I will go no further in this direction. From this moment forward, I am all in. That moment is not emotional. It is intentional. It is not based on how you feel. It is based on what you know, that you were built for more, that you are meant to lead, that the clock is ticking, and this life will not wait forever. The question is not, can you? The question is, will you decide? And understand this. When you make a true decision, you don't need every answer. You don't need the full plan. You don't need to know how the entire staircase looks. You just need to take the first step. With total commitment, action creates clarity, movement creates momentum, but it all begins with that first final decision that says, I'm done thinking like the rest. I'm done shrinking. I will rise. The bold don't wait for permission. They give themselves the order to proceed. They don't ask, what if I fail? They declare, well, what if I succeed beyond anything I've imagined? And they do not back down because they have decided. That word alone can rewrite your life. One decision to pursue, to persist, to refuse to quit can set off a chain reaction that makes you unrecognizable in 6 months. You do not need another opportunity. You need to decide, and once you do, you become dangerous. Not because of what you have, but because of what you've committed to become. That level of certainty is unstoppable. That decision is the beginning of greatness. The greatest lie ever told is this: wait until the time is right. That lie has killed more dreams than failure ever could. It has kept millions sitting on the sidelines, watching life pass them by, clinging to the illusion that someday, some perfect moment will arrive. But here's the truth. There is no perfect moment. The stars will not align. The fear will not vanish. The path will never be entirely clear. If you keep waiting for ideal conditions, you'll still be waiting a year from now, 5 years from now, a lifetime from now. The successful, the driven, the relentless, they understand one thing. The right time is now, not when you feel ready, not when you have every resource, not when the plan is flawless, but now, because now is all you truly have. Every minute you delay, every hour you second guess, every day you postpone action, you are trading power for comfort. And make no mistake, comfort is the enemy of greatness. Comfort is the silent thief of potential. It lulls you into thinking there's time to spare when time is slipping through your fingers this very moment. You don't need more time, you need more decision. You don't need the perfect strategy, you need the courage to start. The person who acts without all the answers will always beat the one who waits until everything feels safe, because while one is thinking, the other is doing. While one is researching, the other is building. While one is doubting, the other is dominating. The future doesn't belong to the cautious. It belongs to the bold, to those who understand that momentum is more valuable than perfection, that one imperfect move forward is worth more than 1,000 perfect ideas left unexecuted. If you stumble, so be it. If you fail, good. Learn, adjust, move again, but never sit paralyzed, convinced that someday will all feel easier. It won't. What changes is you, and you change by stepping forward while the fear is still present. There is power in immediate action. It sends a message to your mind that you are in control, that you do not serve fear, that you are the master, not the slave of your own destiny. The moment you stop waiting and start moving, a shift happens. You begin to attract opportunity. You begin to build confidence. You begin to own your path, not just wish for it. Greatness rewards speed. It rewards initiative. The faster you act, the faster you learn. The faster you fall, the faster you rise. Every delay is a missed lesson, a missed door, a missed version of yourself that you could have already stepped into. Time will not wait for you to feel ready. You must decide to move anyway. And when you do, you'll discover that what you feared was never as powerful as it seemed. What you lacked, you build along the way. And what you thought you needed was always inside you, waiting to be activated by action. The world does not move for the hesitant, it moves for the bold. The indecisive are left behind. The timid are overlooked. For those who walk with certainty, those who act with conviction, they bend the world in their direction, not because they are lucky, not because they are privileged, but because they have claimed their place with unwavering belief and visible energy. The world does not respond to doubt. It responds to power. And power begins with clarity. You must decide who you are, what you want, and what you will no longer tolerate. Once that clarity is locked in, hesitation dies, fear fades, excuses are burned, and what's left is pure motion. When you walk into a room with the energy of certainty, people feel it. They may not understand it, but they respect it, because most people are wandering through life unsure of who they are. But a person with vision, a person with direction, that person becomes magnetic. That person becomes a force. The mistake most people make is waiting for validation, waiting for applause, waiting for someone to tell them, yes, you're ready now. But those who lead, those who rise, they don't wait. They don't ask for permission. They move first, and the world adjusts, because the world has no choice but to respond to a soul on fire with belief. Not belief in what might happen, but belief in what must happen. Boldness is not recklessness. It is intentional force. It is the courage to stand in front of the unknown and say, "This is mine to conquer." It is not arrogance. It is alignment. The bold don't pretend to know everything, but they know enough to begin. They understand that while the cautious plan, the bold build. While others worry, the bold win. Not because it's easy, but because they dare when others delay. Let this be the day you stop shrinking to fit in. Let this be the hour you stop diluting your dreams to make others comfortable. Your silence serves no one. Your hesitation helps no one. If you want to lead, lead. If you want to speak, speak. If you want to build, create, achieve, act. Stop waiting for certainty outside of you. The only certainty that matters is the one you declare from within. That fire, once lit, becomes unstoppable. Your presence should speak before you do. Your confidence should walk 10 feet ahead of your words. And that only happens when you stop dancing with doubt and start moving with direction. Decide what you want, claim it, move like it already belongs to you. Because in this world, it's not the quiet dreamers who get remembered. It's the ones who dared to be loud with their purpose. It's the ones who showed up with clarity, with force, and said, "This is who I am. This is what I came to do, and I will not be denied." Every champion you admire, every empire ever built, every monumental success story, it all shares one hidden truth. The price was paid in discipline, not in talent, not in inspiration, but in daily, consistent, unshakable discipline. Discipline is the dividing line between the ones who wish and the ones who win, between the ones who talk and the ones who take. Success does not bend to mood. It answers only to habit. If you think greatness is about feeling motivated every morning, you're chasing a fantasy. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. Motivation may start your journey, but only discipline will carry you through the storms. It's what makes you show up when no one's watching. It's what keeps you grinding when there's no applause, no cheering crowd, no instant reward. And that's the moment most people fall off, when the excitement fades and all that's left is the work. That's when the weak quit, and that's when the disciplined rise. Discipline means you do what you said you would do long after the mood you set it in has left. It means you don't wait for the perfect feeling. You move because you decided to. You stay the course because the goal is non-negotiable. Winners don't act according to emotion. They act according to standards. They don't ask, "How do I feel today?" They ask, "What needs to be done today to get me one step closer to where I'm going?" Then they do it. You must understand this. Small disciplines compound. Every choice you make either moves you closer to your future or delays it. That 1 hour of focused effort each day, it builds into mastery. That one skipped excuse, it builds into mental strength. And that one moment where you push when everything in you wants to quit, that becomes the seed of transformation. It is freedom. It is the path that separates the dreamers from the doers. The ones who win are not always the smartest, not always the most gifted, but they are the most consistent. They refuse to negotiate with laziness. They don't need hype. They don't need praise. They don't even need to feel good. They just show up over and over again because they understand if I stay committed long enough, the results must come. Life will not deny the one who refuses to quit. When you become disciplined, you become dangerous. You move with quiet intensity. You don't need to shout. You let your results speak. You let your progress scream, and the world notices. Because there's something magnetic about a person who keeps showing up, no matter what. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about never letting the flame go out. Some days it's a wildfire, some days it's a spark, but it always burns. And that fire, that steady, committed fire, is what makes you unstoppable. There is a fire inside you that will never be satisfied with average. It will never feel at peace in mediocrity. It will never settle for anything less than greatness. That fire is not there by accident. It is the signal of your purpose. And the tragedy of this world is not that people aim too high and miss, it's that they aim too low and hit. The greatest sin against your own life is to shrink in the presence of your own potential, to bury your brilliance just to fit the mold, to silence your voice because others are too small to hear it. You were not designed to blend in. You were born to stand out. There is something in you that was meant to shift the atmosphere, to change the conversation, to break the limits. But that part of you will never come alive if you keep playing by the rules of the ordinary, if you keep lowering your standard just to be accepted, if you keep hiding your power to make others comfortable. Playing small does not serve the world, it cheats it. You were not given vision just to dream, you were given vision to build. You were not given passion just to feel, you were given passion to move mountains. The power you hold is not for decoration, it is not for show, it is for impact. But impact demands that you rise, that you take your place, that you stop waiting to be chosen and choose yourself, that you stop asking for permission and start walking like it's already yours. The people who change the world are not the ones who had it all figured out. They're the ones who refuse to play small, who refuse to dim their light just to keep the room comfortable, who showed up loud, bold, and fully convinced of the value they bring. They didn't need applause to get started. They didn't need agreement to act. They just knew there's more in me, and I'm done pretending otherwise. Every day you choose to play small, you betray the calling on your life. Every time you let fear dictate your steps, you forfeit the ground that could have been yours. The truth is, you're not waiting on a sign. You are the sign. You're not waiting on the right time. Now is the time. You're not waiting for someone to lift you up. It's your own hands that must build the ladder. And once you realize this, once you decide that small is no longer acceptable, something changes. Your voice gets louder, your steps get firmer, your vision gets sharper, and the world takes notice, not because you asked it to, but because you became unignorable. The life you want is waiting, not down the road, not next year, now. But you will never meet it by playing small. You will only meet it when you rise with full force, full fire and full conviction, and declare to the world, I will not shrink, I will lead, I will rise. You have been given everything you need to succeed. The power, the vision, the potential, it's all within you waiting for you to claim it. The only question that remains is, will you step into your greatness? Will you silence the excuses, dismiss the doubts, and rise above the noise? Will you choose courage over comfort, action over hesitation, and greatness over mediocrity? The world is not waiting for someone to show up. It's waiting for you. Your moment is not coming in the future, it is now. And the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is this. The ones who succeed act. They act with certainty, they act with purpose, they act with the unwavering belief that they have no choice but to rise, no choice but to win, no choice but to make their mark on this world. So make the decision today. Stand tall. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Create it. Stop shrinking to fit in. Expand to take up space. The world is ready for what you have to offer. But it will only move for you when you move for it. Let your commitment be unshakable. Let your discipline be relentless, and let your fire burn so bright that nothing can stand in your way. You are born to rise. Now,